Hey guys, Julian here, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make dark industrial techno like KRTM. As usual, you get the project file and samples and MIDI and presets. All of that from this video is available in the description right at the top. And if you're a patron on my Patreon, check there because it's already available. And yeah, let's dive in. So this is the loop you heard in the intro, around 138 BPM. The first sound we have here is the kick, which sounds like this. So this is a simple rumble kick. The way it's made is just by layering these two kicks together. We have this 909 kick, and then this kick, which you can hear has more of like a punch to it, and then we put those together. And you get a kick that has the fatness of the 909 with that like attack to it from the other one. And then we have those going through this rumble chain here. So what's happening is you can see we have a dry chain, and then the one with the rumble. So the way this is being made is actually by using a reverb and a delay. So typically with a rumble you would do one or the other, and you could do this. Here you can see there's just the reverb, there's just the delay. By putting these together, you get this sound where you still get that like kind of rhythmic delay rumble, but it's a little bit obscured from the reverb. And yeah, it just kind of gives it more depth. From there we have this amp, and then I have this low pass filter. So here's without that. And then with it you can hear it takes the sound from the amp, which has the rumble in it, but also has a lot of high end, and then just dials back that high end, so we're getting just the rumble. Then we have this compressor side chaining into the dry kick, and then I have this frequency shifter to sort of pitch it down. Here's without this. And then with it, you can hear it just helps to kind of focus it a little bit lower than 100 hertz. And the final thing here is just a bit of EQ, cutting at 100 hertz and boosting the low end. And then after the rumble rack, what we have here is just a bit of saturation. So you can see just kind of like set like this, helps to sort of glue together the rumble and the kick. Then we have some overdrive. Here's without this. And then with it, you can hear it just makes it hit a little bit more. And then we have this drum bus. So here's without that. And then with it, you can hear that gives it that last little push. And the final thing here is just this EQ8, which is boosting the low end. And yeah, that is it for the kick. After that, we have this 909 kick thing, which sounds like this. So the way this is made is by using the same 909 kick that we had up here. But then you can see I'm putting it through a few different effects. So we have some saturation here, and then I have this rumble chain here. And what we're doing is we have the standard, so here's the dry one, and then here's the like low end one, excuse me, and then we have this mid-range one as well, which you can hear is just a bit of delay on 16th notes, going through some saturation and then into an amp, and then I have that side chain to the kick and EQ to get rid of the low end, and then I also have a low pass filter on it, which is just cutting out like super high highs. So here's without this. It's kind of essential because you don't want this to just be like super up front. So that kind of makes it fit in a little bit more with the sound. And yeah, then after the rumble, we just have a bit of overdrive, a bit of drum bus, pretty similar chain to the kick. And you can see that same EQ. And then I have a cut at 100 hertz just to make a little bit more room for the main kick. And yeah, after that, we have the lead, which sounds like this. So this one's a bit loud, as you can hear, and a bit sharp. I'll turn it down for the purposes of this video, but you can see what we've got going on here is this pattern. So it's just playing G up to C, and then C sharp, and then D sharp. So that's how you're getting this sort of like really uneasy sound. You're just skipping the fifth, because that would be that D, and instead we're going C up to C sharp, which with the G, since we're in the key of G, G minor to be exact, you can hear it creates this really dark pattern. For the sound on this one, you can see it's actually just a simple pluck. It's just two saw waves and analog going into a low pass with a plucky envelope. We've got the amp envelope set like that. And then I just have a bit of vibrato, and the unison's on, but it's not really doing anything. Then we just have some echo and some reverb to give it some space. And then this is the secret with the sound is this boost. So here's without it. You can hear without it, it's pretty dark sounding because of the notes and the reverb and stuff, but it doesn't have that like crunchy kind of nasty sound. So that's the secret with this. It's just a good way to get a really textured, sort of industrial sounding harp like this really easily. And yeah, then after that we just have a high pass filter, and that is it for the lead. After that we have this little synth percussion which sounds like this. So this one's really simple. It's more about just having it this kind of like droning, repetitive sound. You know, that just plays in the same place every time. It doesn't change up too much. But the sound on this one, it's just made using operator. We've got a bit of white noise with a short envelope going into a bandpass filter. So here's without the bandpass. And then with it, so you can hear the bandpass is how we get the sound. You set it there, and then you put an envelope on it. And then I've got the shaper, and I've got the resonance up. And that's how you make this sort of like clicky percussive sound just using a synth. Then after that, we have this echo, which is doing 16th notes, going into a bit of overdrive. Here's that, the overdrive. And then with it, you can hear it really makes it hit harder. It makes it sound like an actual percussion. And the last thing we have on there is just a high pass filter. After that, the next layer we have here is the hi-hat, which sounds like this. So you can hear this is just playing on the upbeat. It's pretty simple. It's just like this sort of like drum machine style hi-hat. I've got it going into a bit of echo, which you can see is on 8th notes. That's giving that kind of thing. Then we have some reverb as well. This is really important, like with the more industrial stuff, to give it that kind of industrial atmosphere. Reverb on the hi-hats is a really good way to get that. And then we just have a bit of drum bus to make it a bit fatter, and then a high pass filter cutting out the low end. And then the last layer that we have inside of here is this vinyl noise, which sounds like this. So this is really simple. It's just a sample recorded of some vinyl noise, and then what happens is that plays in the background. And I'll show you here's without it. And then with it. Here, it's really filling in the atmosphere there. I'll turn that lead back up. And really just like kind of filling in some of the spaces there sonically. So with this one, yeah, it's just playing really simple, no effects on it. Again, it's just about finding a sound that's got that like the really sharpness to it. And yeah, so that is it for this one, guys. So as always, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get the full project file and samples and MIDI and presets. Everything like that from this video is available in the description right at the top for just $5. And if you're a patron on my Patreon, check there. It's already available. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.